Well, good day, viewers, good day. And welcome back to Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour here first, and then we'll see what happens after that. So as you can see, we're cloudy today, and there's no rain at the moment, but for the next number of days we're supposed to get a bunch of rain. So I don't know where the rain is at, but it can stay wherever it's at instead of coming here. Anyway, frost I'd say is pretty well gone out of the ground. Things are dried up, mostly. Little tiny bits of snow here and there. And I always have a bunch of snow in there because the sun doesn't get to it. So, now today is, what's today? March 27th. Yep. Alright, so we're at 6 degrees Celsius today. And that is 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Southeast wind at 13 miles an hour, or 21 kilometers an hour. So you really don't feel anything when you go outside. So there's our forecast. We're supposed to get up to 11 today. And rain and rain and rain. And then maybe some snow on Sunday. And back to cold again next week. Rain, rain, snow. Okay, so anyway, it's warming up a little bit for this week. 13 and 15, that's pretty good temperature. Alright, so there's our weather forecast. So I'm hoping today, I'm getting a little bit of a late start, but anyway, we're going to get at this here today. I want to fix that. So this may go outside, and I'll turn this around, and then I'm going to clean the deck out as best I can with another scraper, and then brush it out. Get the most of what I can out of it. So as I can just get it done, and if I waited a month and took it outside, well, yeah, I don't think you'd see any difference in how the stuff attaches, I don't think. So that's that. Now we'll go back here. We'll have a look at the Pour 15 that I put in the MF7 deck yesterday. And I have the studio light out, so that was put on late yesterday afternoon, and this morning when I get out here it was dry. Now my son says it should be as hard as anything, I guess, so we can get this studio light to cooperate. Cooperate, you. There. So let me get in here. Over here, maybe. So some paints you put on, I found that it takes them forever to dry, and if you stick your nail in them, you can actually put it in them. But we'll see what this does here. No dent. hard as me Jesus. That is for sure. Anyway, we'll see over time how it does, I guess. So anyway, that's that. So it's pretty well din time now. So I'm going to go in and have some din. And we should get that done today up here, I think. I should. If it doesn't rain, I won't put the tractor out if it's raining, so. Anyway, this will take a couple of hours to scrape as much more out as I can and brush out. And we'll see about fixing the end there. And when I flip it over, I may do the top side of this, because this section here was the section that was all underneath that cover, and that's where it is rusted the worst. Where it wasn't covered, perfect shape. 49-year-old deck. Anyway, this one here is going to take the rest of that can and probably half of the other new can to do here. Still, still original painting there. Look at that. Anyhow, now I'm going to give you a little quick look at this. I might go over this again later. If I don't, I might forget, but I might not. This is going to be my next project. I have to get a hold of my buddy who gave me this piece. He's in Nova Scotia. He and I go to the Dundas ploughing match and plow together. So I've got to cut this off because it's worn out. And it's hard to believe, but that could wear out within an 8-hour day. That point should be pointing down. It shouldn't be. I can get it to stay there, yeah. So this shouldn't be like this here. If I can get yours in there. Yeah. So this is pointing up and this is pointing down. So the plow's always fighting, wondering what to do, go down or go up, because this part is wore out. And I had an awful job last year at the plow match trying to plow, and that is the cause right there. So what he does, my buddy there in Nova Scotia, he cuts these somewhere. I can't remember where he cuts them, or if he cuts them on an angle, or he V's them out, or what he does. And then he cuts this, and he mounts that basically on there like that. You know, it cuts this one and this one. It doesn't sit on top. It sits together. So that is the thing that's going to happen with this soon. Once the weather gets a little better outside, and I can get my rolling deck out, I guess, or rolling table. See, that's a new one there. And it's got that down, pointed down kind of. Yeah, see it there. Anyway, that's all it takes. And like I say, put that on this morning to go plow for 8 hours, it would look like this one in the afternoon. I don't know what this is made of. I think it's just cast steel, I think. I don't know. But this obviously is a better grade of material. So the other thing I have to do is, once I get this cut and that cut, get them mated together, you have to have a special rod to weld these two together because they're dissimilar metals. And my buddy is I think he was an engineer or a machinist or something like that, so he kind of knows what's what with that stuff. So I don't, so I need his input. So I have enough here, so you just cut off this end and then cut off that end. So I got enough for two plows. Anyway, that's what's coming up within the next little while. All right, so I'm going to dinner, so we'll shut this off, and I'll be back to you a little bit later. All right, boys and girls and boys. I'm back after dinner. Din was pretty good. Anyway, I'll show you a couple of little things here. This is going to be kind of an on and off part of the video. Anyway, found some stuff here to fixie-uppy this. That curve there just seemed to fit right in there. So I'm planning to I'll clean this up, I guess, and weld this to that. Then I'm going to take this and tap it onto here and here, and just make sure that this is drawn in tight to this, and then weld that up, and then weld across the center here. That should fix that up for a while. Now, I'll have to tell you, I'm not a welder. I was never trained in welding. I was never trained in welding metals. And that's the way that is. So, my best welding is done with these acetylene and oxygen torches here. This set of torches was my father's, and he made the cart for it. So I learned at a very young age how to use those. And that I can do without any problems. I know when I weld something together, it's going to be together and be good. And I can use steel rods or bronze rods, either one. But that's kind of expensive to use. So I don't use it unless I absolutely have to. The other thing that I have here is a MIG welder. Well, I call it a half welder. We got this from a fellow that we know, and yeah, it works all right. And my son can use it better than I can. Electric welding is just not my thing, or I should say maybe it's just not, I just don't do well at it. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. Anyway, it's only 75 amp welder. It has a button there. You go from 75 amp to 35 amp. You have a dial there that you can adjust your speed of the wire. It's I have used it, of course, but I mean, if your metal is clean and you know what you're doing, I guess it makes a nice job. And very little spark from it is the other neat thing. So that's a good thing. Again, expensive to use because you got to buy wire and you got to buy the gas for the back of it. So, and I don't use it too much, but it comes in handy. I have used it. I actually used it on my camera holding thing here. You can't see it because it's at the bottom, but I welded a magnet onto the pipe that I have for my stand. So I did use the MIG welder to do that. So maybe I'll take you out and show you that just for the heck of it. There, look at that. Oh, that's something. That's what you call backyard welder job. That so far it's holding. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm taking up a lot of time in this video doing this, I guess. But so the next thing I have is a stick welder. It's an old Sears stick welder that we bought for $60. I tend to kind of try and use that more so than the other one because all you got to do is buy rods for it, so not quite as expensive to use, somewhat. Anyway, the other thing is that half welder down there, it has a homeowner's tank on it, so we don't have to pay rent. We did used to have a tall one on there, and so if you're paying that time it was $125 a year for rent, and you know we only used the thing 3 or 4 times a month. Not a month, a year, if that. So we went to that homeowner's tank, and that saves on the cost of rent, and because we don't use it much, the tank lasts quite a long time. Anyway, that's what I'm up to here today. I got to get myself wound up here and get the tractor outside, get this turned around and weld that on there. And I might just use the stick welder, I don't know. Be nice to have a little bit of training in that kind of stuff. But there used to be places where you could go in the evening to take courses and that kind of stuff, but they don't do that anymore. So, there you go. All right, that's enough rambling for now. Like I say, I'm not a trained welder. Don't take this as a how-to do welding. I don't know nothing. So I'll get this together here, and I might show you a little bit of welding, and then we'll take it from there. All right, I'll shut you off for now. All right, there you're set up there. I'm not sure exactly what you're going to be able to see, but I'm going to try and weld along here and inside of here. Once I have this piece connected to that piece, I'll take this off and then squeeze these two together, this to that, and then weld here and in between there. That is my hope anyway. So remember now, I am not a welder. Do not do what I do. All right, we'll see what happens here. And we're going to be using the stick welder, I guess. And you know what a stick welder does. If you're not experienced like me, it sticks. We're only set at 70 amps. I suppose it could be hotter, I guess. Alright, we can shut that off for a minute. See if we can get repositioned here. There, that drew that in nicely. Alright, we'll try it again and see what happens. You don't want me building steel buildings, that's for sure. Alright, try her again. There now. Let's see how that looks after I give it a few whacks. There's me whacking tool. that doesn't look too bad when you're done with it, and then when you whack it and get the slag off of it, yep, it's terrible. Anyway, we're all gonna have to try and fill in the gaps, I guess. Yeah, it's just terrible. Yeah, it's a lot worse than I thought. Well, we'll give her another zap. The thing about it is, it'll probably hold and you can be fine. So look at it. Terrible. I guess I need another one. Well, that doesn't surprise me. There's a little piece of something, we might as well use that up. Chip that off and see what happens. I don't expect it to be too much better. But Now I'll get the grinder. And I'll cut that off there. I'll bring you back in a minute. Too long here, I guess. Alright, we're going to do a little grinding here now. We'll cut this off. There, just like that. Now, I'll change to a grinding disc instead of a cutting disc. And we'll see if we can fix up some of the mistakes, right? A good welder doesn't need a grinding stone. This welder. This welder needs a grinding stone, that's for sure. Alright, let's see what we do here now. Well, that doesn't look very good, but anyway, it'll do the job. Once it gets dragging along, it'll smooth itself out. A little bit wide over here. You can see me catching that on something. I'll have to adjust my driving habits, won't I? I'll do a little more right there. All right, we'll give you a look. I don't know why you'd want to look at it, but then we give you a look. All right, there you go. Not much of a job. But for what it's going to do, it's going to hold it together. All right, so we'll cut you off at that. I guess I might add on doing some of the deck cleaning and painting, but I might not. I might just do it all, and then I'll show you the painted end of it instead of you watching me paint. You know, it's kind of like watching me weld. It's not very good. All right, there we go. Still not raining out, so that's good. I'll get the tractor in before it does, so we'll get you back when it's all painted in here, hopefully. All right, I'm going to take you on the home stretch here. I didn't want to bore you with all the rest of that, doing the rest of that deck there, so just got this little area in here to do, and it seems to have it all over me. Anyway, just as I figured, it's going to take one can I used the rest of the can from yesterday and half of the new can today. So I might have to put a little bit more in my container here yet. But anyway, it's going on pretty good. This one was a little harder to do because there's more rust, so there's more divots in it. So you gotta go back and forth more than you did on the other deck. Yeah, she's gonna. Anyway, this poor old deck, it'll get, I hope to someday put a new deck in it here across. I did that side of that last year, kind of because I had to, but this spindle over on that side broke right out of the deck, so that's how rusty it was. Is. Sadly, that's the way it is, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more here, I guess. So it's gonna take a little more than one can. Yeah, I got a little more over me today. Like I say, it's a rougher surface and it's harder to cover. And I figured out that 118 liters or milliliters is 1 pint, 1 US pint. But from what I can see on the other deck today, when I went over and looked at it, it's like my son said, it gets as hard as anything. There. Just about done. Okay, well, that's good. I don't have a whole lot left, so I'll find a little spot to dab it onto. And that's going to be it. There now. Cover on that before it starts to dry. Okay, now the cleanup comes. Now the cleanup. Alright, I'll give you a little look here. There we go. And if it turns out like it did in the other deck, it's going to be quite a thing, which it will. And like anything, if you put 2 coats on, it'll be even better. But that's good enough for now. Yeah, this poor old deck, it needs a lot of work. You know, really, I think a good sheet metal shop could make that. There's a seam right along that edge there. And it's just bent metal down to there. And then there's a piece here that comes along and bends up. And you have your round pieces in here. And there's a seam there in the middle. And then there's another seam right here. Yeah, I know a fellow that could probably make that, you know. Anyway, it'll cost you an arm and a leg to get it made, but and I'm not sure why this goes from here to here with this bend in it here. You'd think it would go from here and just come right straight across over to here. It would make the airflow better to exit the grass. That middle blade would be able to throw out easier. Anyway, so there we go. My back is just a-killing me. This one here is, well, it's looking pretty good. Say this is as dry as can be this morning. So anyway, there you go. There's another video for us. And I guess I've been kind of busy, so that's a good thing, I suppose. I'm going to clean up my tools, and I'm going to clean up that brush. And there comes the better half. All right, I better shut this off before she sees me doing something here with this YouTube stuff. Goodbye now.